You might think that the end of the Infinity Saga means that Marvel's bloodlust is over, and that all of our heroes are now safely living in a haven of peace and tranquility. You would be wrong though, oh so very wrong. The likelihood now is that Marvel will seek to follow up on Thanos' threat by proving that they haven't gone soft in the killing stakes, offering even more characters in Phase 4. I mean, how the hell do you top the snap? It's already traumatized millions of children and is damn near the I am your father of the modern age. That arguably means even more bodies will fall, and permanently this time. But who is most likely to be up for the chop? It would probably be easy to stick Loki in this bunch, but he's died so many times that actually killing him again would just be redundant. Let's let him prance mischievously off into the distance of what-if spin-offs, and he can be both alive or dead at the same time, meddling with the past or something. The others, though, they definitely won't be so lucky. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and this is 9 Marvel characters who won't survive Phase 4. First up, an honorable mention: Spider-Man. This is a monumentally strange one, but if Marvel and Sony fail to get back to the table to extend Spider-Man's MCU deal, and he goes off to Sony for the 3rd movie in the trilogy, something will have to be done about the MCU version of Spider-Man. If things stay as they are while I'm recording this, Spider-Man won't be returning to anything involving the same characters he's been with since Civil War. And rather than forever talk about the Night Monkey or that kid from Queens, a more permanent solution would be a shocking off-screen death. Besides leaving this open for a he never really died twist if the rights to the hero get sorted, Marvel have done stupid things in the name of revenge before. Back when Fox kept the Fantastic Four rights, Marvel consciously ended their Fantastic Four comics, in a move that definitely didn't help Josh Trank's reboot. You want to take Spider-Man away from us and into a parallel Sony dimension? How about we kill him in our world and invalidate your entire movie? Number 9, Thor. An explosive one to start out, but it's not one without some pretty compelling foundations. Thor was widely expected to die in Avengers Endgame, or even Infinity War, because he was one of the original 6 whose story was said to come to an end as the Infinity Saga closed out. Maybe because of Thor Ragnarok's success though, I'm gonna say that those plans were definitely changed, and now we're looking at Thor at least appearing in his 4th movie. However, as the film was revealed, Thor is passing the torch of Asgard's control to Valkyr, and he won't be wielding Mjolnir in Love and Thunder as Jane Foster is instead. For him to even fit into this story means a heroic sacrifice, and veteran characters very rarely make it out of those things. His death knell isn't exactly sounded by the return of Natalie Portman as the mighty Thor, it's more that his arc ends when Asgard is in someone else's hands, as there's no way Chris Hemsworth will then be sticking around for another extension of his contract. Pure speculation time, but the logical thing is for him to return to New Asgard to help with whatever threat they're facing, clash with the mighty Thor, realize it's Jane Foster, then sacrifice himself to save her and his people, finally proving that he's truly worthy once and for all. And if he can do all that whilst maintaining a dad bod, that's a big thanks from me. Number 8, Zemo. Daniel Bruhl's Helmut Zemo is already living on borrowed time, thanks to the end of Captain America Civil War. However, that is precisely what's going to make him extra dangerous. When he thought he had successfully destroyed the Avengers from within, his next step was to kill himself, but that too was foiled by Black Panther. In case you missed it, Zemo is returning as the big bad of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+. And with Disney needing to bring in a ton of subscribers, what better way than reusing one of their most multifaceted villains in a truly memorable way? Because alongside this, whatever Zemo's up to will be the rite of passage for Sam Wilson truly becoming the next Captain America. Taking down an enemy this dangerous will be one hell of a step, and as Zemo is unlikely to go back to prison after one breakout, expect a way more permanent end. I'm gonna call fireworks and excellent monologues, then a super grim finale. Number 7, Mordo. At time of recording, Chiwetel Ejiofor's Mordo isn't fully confirmed for Doctor Strange's In the Multiverse of Madness, but writer C. Robert Cargill did let slip that he's tied in with big villain Nightmare, so we can take an appearance as concrete. At the end of Doctor Strange, Mordo vowed to rid the world of sorcerers to re-establish the natural order of things, and maybe that means teaming up with Nightmare as a way to wipe out Strange for good. Still, Mordo is not an inherently bad person so much as someone with a warped sense of justice. An alliance with an interdimensional bad guy might prove to be just that little bit too rash, and Strange's solution to undoing Nightmare's grip might be to get Mordo back on side. A bad guy face turn in a comic book movie is the oldest trick in the book for killing big characters, as the immediate following scene is the real big bad killing off their former apprentice. Number 6, Red Guardian. You can almost write Red Guardian's story already. He's Russia's version of Captain America, and presumably tied in the Black Widow movie to the Red Room program that created Romanov in the first place. He will be sent after her, possibly as one of her former teachers, and I would be amazed if he makes it through more than one movie. With David Harbour playing the character, we could be looking at a more comically skewed version too, which will probably manifest in comparisons between himself and Cap. After all, you don't have a Russian/American motif and not bring in a whole bunch of Cold War rivalries. To be fair, there's a chance the entire Black Widow cast will die, since the movie is set before Infinity War, and they were all conspicuously absent for the 5 years or so when Black Widow returned to the Avengers. Number 5. Wong. Here are some things that we know about the Doctor Strange sequel. It's going to be the natural escalation that all sequels require, it's going to feature Nightmare as the villain, and it's also going to be Marvel's first horror. That means more darkness, more threat, and the need to establish exactly why Nightmare is a good follow-up to the Behemoth demon Dormammu from the first film. Unfortunately, as anyone who's watched any sequel or Scream 2 which handily maps out the rules can attest, an escalation means killing someone off to show the story, and the new villain means business. While Wong is powerful, he's also just about beloved enough with the fans and close enough to Strange that his death will really sting. Wong dying forces Doctor Strange to seek another powerful ally, leading him to Scarlet Witch. It all makes way too much sense, and that means no more Wong. Number 4. The Vision. How can a character who is already dead be killed? What if they were never really alive thanks to being a fancy space magic android thing? Theological pondering aside, we know that Vision is coming back to the MCU, and the fact that he's likely to appear on the back of Scarlet Witch's trip to the Multiverse of Madness might suggest that he's going to be rescued from the Dream Dimension, which the villain Nightmare presides over. Unfortunately, that can't last, because if you're a comic fan, you'll know that Scarlet Witch getting attached to projections that make her happy has pretty dire consequences. Vision will likely help Scarlet Witch tragically realize that he isn't real at the end of WandaVision and show her that choosing a life with him would have been a false reality. Yes, the term WandaVision has a double meaning. Number 3. Thena. The fact that Angelina Jolie is in the Eternals is great as a selling point for the movie, as it pretty much confirms that she's gonna die. Jolie will play Thena, a skilled warrior who historically clashes with main character Icarus, played by Richard Madden. And though these characters are near immortal, there's no way that Angelina Jolie will have signed a multi-picture deal. Why? Because at this stage we would have heard about it. And it's not like Marvel Studios aren't going to shout about getting someone like Angelina Jolie to sign on for a whole series. Thena's death would be a massive selling point for the film after that first wave of viewers have been and gone. As coming from nothing to a mainstream audience, The Eternals already has a more difficult marketing job than any of the other Phase 4 properties. Number 2. Taskmaster. Right now, we don't know who is actually playing Big Bad Taskmaster in the Black Widow solo movie, but there is a strong possibility that it's actually Rachel Weisz, who has been announced as the mysterious Red Room graduate, Melina. She's so far revealed that her character has a complex relationship with Natasha, and that she's been through the Red Room multiple times. The fact that she has a complex relationship with Nat kind of alludes to them being friends, and her multiple rounds of reconditioning kind of proves that she's a complex individual. The reality is probably that she's the villain of the piece, which also means that, as per Marvel's usual rule of killing villains after one appearance, she's also on borrowed time. Again, remember that Black Widow is set in the past, and it's not like a villain who loves testing people would suddenly leave when a whole bunch of superhero test subjects start turning up. Number 1. Bucky. Here's a question. Why does Falcon and the Winter Soldier call Bucky the Winter Soldier after he's been cured by Shuri in Wakanda? Here's another. Why did Steve Rogers actively choose not to give Bucky the shield and the Captain America mantle when he retired? The second question actually has an answer from the Russos, who stated that Cap didn't pick Bucky because he, and I quote, has a complicated history and a damaged mind. You don't want to hand a very powerful weapon to somebody who is vulnerable like that. So much for being cured then. What if all of this is foreshadowing another bad turn for Bucky? For the longest time, we MCU fans assumed that Bucky was logically the next Captain America due to his prominent run in the comics. But after Rogers chose Sam, everything slipped into place. Sebastian Stan has never had the same dynamism and energy as Chris Evans or Anthony Mackie to own the role on and off screen. And remembering that Zemo is the duo's villain again, he could easily reactivate Bucky, uncovering that he was never fully cured. This would likely lead to one final death scene for Buck, because think about it. After everything that we've seen and how the MCU has played out, what role is there for someone damned to a life of being either a target or a weapon?
Hello YouTube, we're turning things up to 11 with the launch of What Culture Music.
It's our brand new channel featuring all those lists you just can't get enough of, including creepy hidden messages in your favourite pop songs.
As well as radio-friendly songs that detail literal murder. That's as well as Chatty Faces, where we get personal with you on our sordid musical tastes, in-depth discussion podcasts, and we're even doing quality fun stuff like tournaments and quizzes too.
There's going to be something for everybody, so come on over and make some sweet music with us.
Or just watch the videos, that works too.
Like, share and subscribe at the link below, and we will see you there.
Bye.
And that is my rundown of all the Marvel characters who won't survive Phase 4. Let me know your picks down in the comments below, and if there were any that I suggested that you can prove wrong. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com, and I'll catch you soon.